Hey you guys, I'm just getting my Monday task list set up, and today we're back with Planvember day number 9. So I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a very relaxing weekend, and I was able to get all caught up on getting the past lives posted on the website for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share out our live link to a couple of people, a couple of places, a couple of groups that may want to join us, and I'll be right back with you guys, and we'll get started on our today's page, which is going to be a migration checklist or planning checklist depending on how you do things. But yeah, so we'll get started with that, and I'll show you guys how I do it. Okay, I've got to get this link up. So as you come into the feed, make sure you let me know where you're coming from and what you're setting up as far as what type of journal you're setting up, what your experience is with journaling, and yeah, I just want to know a little bit about you. So, hi Catherine, how are you? I'm glad you got caught up. I got caught up on all of my work too, which was very nice. And then yesterday I did almost nothing. It was glorious. It was everything I thought it could be. So, okay, let me get my link here. Hi, Alice. All right. Okay, that's good to go. If you want, you can tag a friend that you think belongs in this video with you. So Catherine, you're in Oakland. Awesome. You have a Leuchtturm. Is this the first time you use a Leuchtturm, or are you brand loyal? Hi Kathy, how are you? From Pennsylvania. Awesome. All right. So we're getting, oh, thanks Amy. So, a little secret, I didn't have time to wash it, so I French braided it. That's the secret there. I used to, in college, I had to wear my hair up a lot, and I had these two roommates who would French braid it for me, and they were awesome. And then I finally learned how to do it myself. So Catherine is brand loyal. She's going to be journaling in a Leuchtturm. Awesome. So I'm trying a new one this year for my first one of 2018. I love Leuchtturm, but I'm going to try the Scribbles That Matter because the paper is just a touch thicker than the Leuchtturm. And so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it compares, how it holds up over time. Hi Dawn, good to see you back. I'm glad you came. All right, we are getting quite a few people kind of trickling in, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around and we'll get started on the actual journal page. If you are new to this series, let me just catch you up. What we're doing is we're setting up our 2018 journals. We're getting an early start on it, and we're going to, yeah, that way we'll have plenty of time to work on goals and stuff like that. So I'm doing mine live under lots of pressure, not to screw things up, but I'm taking you through page by page so you can see how I do things, and you can use what I use, or you can do things differently. But it's kind of a fun way for us to set up together so that we're all getting it done early and we don't have to do any last minute rush. So that's what we're doing. And I promised you guys printables of these pages, and I'm working on it. It's just, you know, it's a matter of getting it all done. So okay, Amy's trying a Leuchtturm this year for the first time. Awesome. Okay, let me get you guys turned around here. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to get things set up a little bit better so you guys can see a little easier here. Okay, so this is what we've been working on. So I am working in a Rodea goal book right now, and I've been really happy with it. Hi CJ from Colorado. What part of Colorado are you in? I am from Colorado Springs, so, and I went to college in Fort Collins, so I miss Colorado. Okay, so I'm moving from the goal book, and I'm going to move into the Scribbles That Matter. The first thing that we did, if you guys are new to the series, is, I'm sorry, my son is coming in now. What's the matter? You got hurt. Where? Right there. I think you're gonna live. You're so tough. Thank you, baby. All right, I'm sorry about that. That is, oh, hi Lisa from Norway. That is life with a preschooler. He's He likes to be with me when I'm working. Okay, so the first thing that we did was we went through and we marked all of our pages to come up with a page order of how we wanted things to flow. And so I still have some sticky notes in here. I've already removed my sticky note for today for the page that we're going to be working on, but I'll catch you guys up. So my notebook already has a place for a key and an index. The key, though, I do a little differently, so I'll show you guys that. I'll have a separate video for that one. Hi, Crystal. Oh, watching for the first time from Maine. Awesome. So you're just in time because I am going to be flipping. Yeah, you're going to get to all caught up here. And then the past videos are posted on my website, and the link should be up there. Let me make sure that I posted this for you guys at the top. I did not. Here, let me post these links for you, and then we'll do the flip through. I'm sorry. There's always 1,000 things to do as we get set up. Okay. I'm going to drop in the comments. There's a link to my website there, and there's a section called Planvember, and you can watch all of the past videos here to get set up. And then Alexis from Maine, hi. And then you can, you'll also have a couple of links to what I'm using and my new book that just came out, which is really exciting, and I'm just over the moon about it. Okay, so I've got my key here, my index here, which is pre-printed in this particular journal. Then I went ahead and did my word for 2018, which is going to be gratitude. And then I've got my 2018 at a glance here, which we created on day 3, I think. And I just showed a couple of tricks for getting it always centered and making sure that you have enough space for all of your months and making sure that you count right. So, okay, and then the next one is our birthday and holiday wheel. Birthdays inside the wheel, holidays and important dates outside the wheel. This is the way I do long-term planning, future plans, a lot of different names for it. But so I just have one date or one line per date, and then I have 4 months that I fit on a 2-page spread. So January through April, May through August, September through December, and I can usually fit 2 appointments on one line, and I'll just stick a page number in there if I need to squeeze in a 3rd appointment, and I can just put the page that the appointment details are on. Okay, then I created an area for 2019 things, just because as we start getting to the end of 2018, I need to be able to plan into 2019. So this is kind of my overflow area. So, oh, Dawn, awesome. You lived in Littleton. Okay. Awesome. Very cool. So I like having locals, Colorado locals come into my little videos. It makes me feel less homesick. All right, then I've got this recurring task tracker, which was very heavily influenced by something that Tiny Ray of Sunshine did. And so a huge thanks to her that she popularized this for me. And it's just basically each month things that I need to do on a monthly basis, resetting my cell data, giving my dog her heartworm medicine and things like that. So we made that one a couple days ago. Then Friday, we went through and formalized a journaling routine. So Friday was a really small crowd, and I was really glad because it was not my best day. You guys will see on the replay if you watch the replay, but I was having a rough day on Friday. It kind of went off the rails, but that's okay. But I still was able to get this page done for my journal, which is good. And it's just how I formalize when I sit down for things. And it helps me to have it on paper because I feel like I make more of a commitment that way. And if I start to feel like I'm losing track of my planning schedule, then I can come back to this page, refresh myself. If I need to set reminders on my phone or my computer, I can do that. But it just keeps me honest. So now today, we're going to do a page that sort of goes hand in hand with the planning routine, which is going to be more of a checklist for when you need to either move to a new page or move appointments over to a new page. So I like to think of my journal as moving from big to small. So we start big, which is long-term planning, right? Big picture. And then over time, we sort of zoom into these more detailed pages. And we end up either moving appointments to more detailed pages, or we end up creating new pages that generate more detailed task lists. So that's how I like to think about it. But okay, so I'm going to start with the actual basic, the words that are going to go with it. And I'm actually going to match the colors that we used in our last page, because these two pages work together so much that they're almost just one 2-page spread. So I'm going to start with that. And what I used was, I had intended to use my Tombow Twin Tones last time, and then at the last second I just changed my mind and decided I was going to use this teal gel pen. It's just a Papermate Inkjoy. That's all it is. It's not anything fancy. So I'm going to start with, I'm just going to follow this line across, and I'm going to use this, I'm just going to line it up with this. I don't really have, there's not really a formula for this page. Just, you want to go from, just like this one, we went from annual to month to week to day. We're kind of going to do the same thing. So this is our planning routine, and now I'm just going to look at the things that I want to actually, the pages that I actually want to set up. So I talked about when I'm going to sit down to do these things, and now here I just have a little checklist. So you probably could get away with combining these two pages and doing your checklist on your planning routine. I find that I tried that once and it messed me up really bad, and so I've just separated them, and now I have just the routine and the checklist. So it's a little bit of extra work, but for me it makes sense and it helps me out. So the first one that I'm going to do is my my annual core setup. When I say core, those are my important pages that I'm going to come back to over and over. That's basically what we're doing right now. So my annual core setup. So, okay. I don't really do anything too fancy on these pages just because they're sort of utilitarian, but at the very end I'm going to add some doodles that are going to kind of bleed over into this page. They'll sort of flow into the next page, and that'll just give it a little bit more interest, because otherwise, I mean, with these pages that are strictly utilitarian or new journal. Okay. So I'm putting this here because let me finish my thought first, and then we'll get to this. So with these pages that are purely utilitarian, so it's nice sometimes to keep them simple because it's very clear what you need to do. And in the case of a checklist, I like keeping it kind of minimal just because I don't get confused. But at the same time, those pages can also be kind of dry. So adding a doodle here and there can kind of spice them up. So at the very end, I think I'm gonna, after I write this out, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of room maybe in this area that I can create some doodles. And then I'll just sort of use that as a border. You can always sneak doodles in as a border to create a little bit more fun on a page. So we'll end up doing that. Okay, so here I said annual core setup or a new journal. So if it's a new journal, I might do things, if it's just in the middle of the year and it's a new journal, I might do different pages than if I'm actually starting over brand new at the beginning of the year, like we are right now. So this is a 2018 journal, so and it's the first one of 2018, so I usually put a lot more thought into my first journal. So that's basically what's going on here. Let me make sure I'm still getting my comments. Oh, see, my comments stopped scrolling. So, hi Whitley. Okay. Hopefully my comments still keep scrolling. Sometimes I look back and I haven't had a comment in a while and I miss things. Okay. Then I'm just going to use my Tombow mono drawing pen to create my actual, just like we did yesterday or on Friday, and I'll just go ahead and create my little checklist, my little task lists. So I'm gonna create my my yearly planning pages, which is, again, that's what we're doing right now. I did this on Friday too. I left out the N in planning, the third N. Okay, and then I am going to create, I'll do those at the end. I'm actually going to create little check boxes that I can actually use. So that way I actually get the satisfaction of going through and checking off the box. Set annual goals. We're gonna do annual goals at the end. So I do all of my core pages first, my important planning pages, and then I get into specific goals for the year. I'm gonna move my pages from the old journal. Now when it comes to moving pages from an old journal, you can just, if you have a scanner or a photocopier, occasionally I will just photocopy the page and tape it or paste it into the new journal rather than write it out by hand. If I'm redesigning it or creating all new information, then I'll write it out by hand. Or if it's a page that is really enjoyable for me to write, then I might write it out by hand. But there's really no need to unless you want to. The only thing that I would say keep in mind with that is that if you photocopy paper and if you photocopy them and paste them into your journal, it's going to add some bulk. So your journal may be thicker at the end of the year than it is at the beginning of the year, which is fine. Just be aware of it. All right, then I'm going to do monthly. So we just moved from annual to monthly core pages. All right. And that's going to be our setup. Okay. So with this one, I'm actually going to create a little bit of a tracker with it. So just like we did on our recurring task tracker, every month you can have a certain task. And if you want, you can kind of forego this page and move a lot of them into a recurring task tracker with a bunch of other tasks. I tend to think that the page gets overwhelming if I do that. So if I have a separate page, it becomes a lot more clear what I need to do and what those tasks are related to. So, and I'm just gonna have to, oh, thanks Amy, you liked my new manicure. It is sort of holiday-ish. I don't know, I was really in the mood for red this week. I was feeling red. Okay, so let's see. Let's start counting backwards. Let's do it this way. We'll go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So those are going to be our 12 months. And I'm the person who can't remember which month is 1 and which month is 4. So I'm actually going to go through and add a letter to represent each month. Okay, so that's going to be basically the top of our tracker here. And then I'll just end up making a grid for each task. So I don't know how many tasks I'm going to have yet. I have to think about it, but we'll go ahead and extend this down. Okay, at least a few lines, because I know I'll have at least a few to do each month. So, and my list might not be the same as your list, so keep yours in mind as you're making this, and just know that your numbers may be different, how many boxes you need. All right, so can you guys see that? All right, am I centered here? Okay, so Dawn says she has a Leuchtturm that she's planning to move into, but she's used up her current Moleskine. But she also, when she's used up her current Moleskine, but she also wanted to mention that she recently found, hang on, the rest of her comment is probably coming. She's got something for us. Okay, so we'll just wait on that. I think the rest of this comment got cut off on my screen. So let me go see, maybe I can read it on the computer, hang on. Okay, so she found a Moleskine sized dotted hardcover at Walmart, super cheap, under $7. Haven't tried the ink yet, but the pages are fairly thick. They also have a larger soft cover dotted. Okay, that's good to know. And fun colors in it too, in case anyone wants to check it out. So I wonder if they're coming out with new lines, kind of in response to the whole journal planning craze that's happening right now. Yeah, that's definitely possible, because I know Moleskine dotted are really hard to find. You have to order them. They must be coming out with some more. So, okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create my monthly spread. That's pretty important for me. I know some people skip the monthly spread and go straight to weekly, and that's fine. If you are one of those people, then more power to you. I need every page that I can get in order to stay organized. I need all the help I can get. All right, I need to add monthly trackers. So if you have certain like habit trackers or things that you track on a monthly basis, then you'll want to make those too to complement. So I have a page that I make every month for a 6-word story challenge that I run on Instagram. I make a page so that I can write my own 6-word stories and then keep up with everybody else's. So I have that. I also have a blank page that I put in every single month that is just for me to write my random thoughts in no particular order without any pretty headers. And I know a lot of people have one they call a brain dump. I call mine brainstorm. It's a place for me to sketch out ideas and let things just flow without any structure. I think most people benefit from a page like that where you don't have to be tidy and you don't have to have a plan. So I'll check my birthdays and holidays. And again, a lot of these are going to mirror what we did on this page because when I created this page, I was envisioning how I plan. And then that gives me a better idea of how I'm actually going to go through and execute that process. And if you do well without planning every detail of your life, this is probably a bit of overkill for you. But if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you're just like me and you like to hyper plan everything. So, but yeah, it helps me to follow a checklist. And then if I'm doing things in a hurry, I don't have to stop and think about, okay, did I miss this page? Did I check all the pages I was supposed to check? I've put some thought into it ahead of time. And then I know that I'll be able to come back to it. And so Dawn says hers is not a moleskin. The brand is Exceed that she was talking about that has thicker dotted pages. And she found it at Walmart and it was super cheap. Okay, that's good to know. So we can check that out. Because I know a lot of times these premium journals that we get, they come at a premium cost as well. And that's just not accessible to everybody. And I'm going to close out my previous month. Okay. And when I say close out the month, I close out the month by flipping through every page of that month, making sure I haven't missed any, tasks or events or planning items that have not been addressed at all. And then I index that month, just the important pages. And that's how I close out a month. Update, index, and you may have other things you want to put on here. Like some people like to create a fun dashboard each month, which I've sort of started doing. So, so I would create my dashboard when I create my monthly spread. So you may want to go into this checklist a little more detailed than what I'm doing, but just make it work for you, whatever works best for you. All right, I'm going to create my goals. And I'm going to move unfinished tasks. All right. Okay. So I need to create just a couple more lines here. And then I think that's good enough. I'm checking, let's see, let me make sure that's good. Monthly spread, monthly trackers. I'll check my birthdays and holidays, which is this guy. I'll check my yearly schedule, which is this one. I'll close out my previous month. And I probably, you know what? I need to put my recurring task tracker on here. All right. Check recurring tasks. Okay. And I would add those as well. So now we'll just have a little bit of a checklist that we can follow each month. For me, the month is the most critical time because that's when everything moves from long-term sort of could happen to it's this month and it actually needs to get done. Like you actually have to do something about it now, Megan, or it's not going to get done. So that's usually the most critical point in my planning. Once I get it on the monthly page, then moving it to my weekly pages and my dailies is a lot easier. And I can be a lot more detailed on my monthly page than I can on my annual planning pages, on my long-term future plans. So yeah, this is just kind of a critical juncture for me, which is why I keep the checklist on most of it on the monthly basis. So I'll have some other things that I do on a weekly basis, like weekly I create my, which I talked about last week on Friday. Weekly I create my weekly schedule and my meal plan, and those are really the biggest things for me to get done on a weekly basis. And other than that, I can kind of just fly by the seat of my pants, make pages when I want them, make trackers if I feel like it, make fun collections, and make a daily doesn't take any time at all to set up. It takes me 5 minutes, so I can create a daily the day of if I need it the day of. I don't really have to put a lot of thought into doing those, but the rest of these I like putting a little bit of planning into them. So all right, we're almost done here. And then we can think about weeklies, and then we can do some doodling, because it's Monday and I need some doodles in my life to take the edge off Monday. I don't always leave my doodling till the end, but hang on, let me move this up a little bit. Hey, let's see, I've got people asking about, I do have an Instagram. It is, my handle on Instagram is Page Flutter, just like my website, PAGEFLUTTER. And I've been trying to post the finished pages on Instagram for you guys because it's just easier to see than it is on these Facebook Lives. I know that the resolution's not great on these. So, Jane, do I sketch out in pencil first? It depends. I try not to. I really try not to, because that just adds a lot of time to my day, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I would sit there erasing and drawing the same line over and over and over and over. And it gets old really fast. So I've tried to make peace with mistakes and just deal with them as a part of life. But occasionally, if I have a page that I'm really excited about and I want to make it really artistic, then I might sketch out in pencil first. Like, I'll find one that's an example of one that I sketched first because I was excited about it. And yeah, I know there are different philosophies on that. Like, for some people, they're so afraid to write on the page that they won't write anything. For those people, I say, yeah, get a pencil. It's not, I mean, get yourself a pencil so that it takes the edge off, and then you'll feel a little bit better. So, yep, that's it. Page Flutter. That's it. You got it right. Okay. So weekly, I'm going to create my weekly schedule, my schedule page, and I'm not going to actually put check boxes for this because I would need 52 of them for the week or for the year if I was going to do the checklist on a weekly basis like that. But at least when I come back to do my monthly pages, it'll remind me that each week I also need to come back and check this. And I can still reference this on a weekly basis and kind of check them off, pencil wise. So I need to create my meal plan for the week. I need to, and then I just need to follow and mark tasks. Follow and mark tasks. Make daily spreads as needed. I don't always do a daily. If my tasks haven't changed much from the day before, like if I had a really unproductive day and all those tasks carried over to the next day, then I don't necessarily create a new one. I might just continue working on the Thursday one on Friday, for example. And I've just kind of made peace with that. It's just not worth it all the time to move them. So, and I know that would drive some people crazy, but if I don't have anything new to add to the day, I don't create a daily just to make a daily. I just skip it. Okay, and then I need to eliminate irrelevant tasks. And I'm putting this on there because I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with, is that if we put it on the list, it has to get done. But really, if it's irrelevant, we need to give ourselves the freedom to just let it go. Just get rid of it, cross it off, and let it go. All right, that's probably enough for now. That will keep me on track. So then I'm going to make a fun little, let's make a fun header. And I did kind of a typewriter one on this one. And I think we'll do the opposite on this one. I'm gonna write I'm gonna write journal and kind of a cursive, and then we'll do checklist in kind of typewriter. Let's do it like that. So it's gonna be a little different. A little N there. Okay. And I like adding a little bit of an end here. Well, okay. That's probably good enough. And then we'll do a little kind of a typewritery. And when I did these last week, what I explained was typewriter font is all about making your round parts as round as possible and the straight parts as straight as possible. So it's kind of tricky in that sense. And then you always want to make sure to remember to put your feet on, because they always have little feet, little serifs. Okay. All right. We're almost done with the lettering, and then we can pick some fun doodles. Okay. Here's my journal checklist. And I'm kind of in the mood for some dandelion puffs, which I love drawing. So I'm gonna do a really easy dandelion puff for you guys. And we're just gonna do it in black and white. And I'm actually gonna use my Pigma Microns because I have a lot more size choices with those tips. So I'll pull those out here. Put my Tombos away. Put my gel pen away. I have lots of pen cups on my desk. All right, so helps me if I kind of arrange these in order before we start. But with these dandelion puffs, I like having really thin pens to create the puff part of it. You know, those real wispy puffs that carry the seed. Okay, so I'm going to start with something thick for the stem. Oops, my hand slipped. Easy. And then I'm just going to create a little bit of a semicircle here, which is going to be the part that actually holds the seeds right there in the middle. Just switch to a little bit of a smaller pen because I'm going to create these the little collar that goes around the dandelion puff. Okay, and now we can start creating our actual dandelions. Now, I like to create a couple of different lengths in my dandelions because otherwise if you just go around and create one circle, it's going to look kind of sparse. But if you create them different lengths, and I'll show you what I mean. So, and you can just overlap. You want to overlap lines here because dandelion puffs, you can see through them. So that's fine. And then I just kind of do like a little on the end of each one, just like you just kind of do. I'll show you guys up close. I'm just sort of doing like a little bit of a curve and then just a couple little hash marks in there. It's really simple. You're not really doing any kind of like big sweeping lines. There's not really a lot of artistic ability that comes into this. You're just sort of creating a couple little hash marks on the ends. And then you do that enough times and you start to get the effect of a dandelion puff. Pretty much not a single thing that I draw is very complicated. I don't have a lot of natural artistic ability. I just enjoy doing it. And I think that is just fine. So then I can kind of come back in here and create some longer lines that kind of work in between, and some shorter ones, and then you just want to create a little puff on the ends of each of those. And then you can even, right in front of where your dandelion head is, you can create some little puffs right there as well, and it'll make it look a lot less sparse. And then we're gonna let some of them float around the page, which will be a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't love a good dandelion puff? They're so pretty and so simple and very unpretentious. These are very casual little doodles. Okay. All right, so then we're going to create a couple just kind of floating up and around the page. And we'll create some kind of moving this direction. Okay, and to do that, you just basically draw your lines at a random angle. And I usually like a couple closer to the flower, and then just one or two further off. And then if you want, at the very end of the line, you can create, let me come up a little bit closer so you guys can actually see this. You can create a little bit of a dot at the end, and that's the seed that the puff is going to carry. So you don't have to do that part, and it's not really much. There's nothing much to it, but it kind of adds a little bit of realism maybe to what you're doing. And then your puff would go on the opposite side from the seed. So your seeds are down on the bed of the flower right here. The little, whatever that center part is called. I'm not up on my flower anatomy, guys. And we talked about this another time, but like for some reason, flowers are my go-to. Like little flowers and little plants are my go-to, which is funny because I can't grow a flower to save my life. And I'm actually I'm gonna darken this stem and make it a little bit longer because I'm not crazy about the way it turned out. So I know when the question came up about pencil, I could probably save myself a lot of errors if I used pencil, but I would rather just kind of make the errors look intentional and kind of go with them, because sometimes you don't really know where the error is going to take you. Sometimes it can lead to something really beautiful. I think probably most of the best things I've ever done in my life have been 50% accident. Okay, there, so our flower is a little bit darker. Flower stem anyway. And then I'm going to go ahead and create some puffs over this direction as well, just to kind of tie the two pages together. So we'll create a couple that are like one going up here, and one over here, and one over here. There. You don't really need very many, and it still adds a lot to the page. Okay. So that's what we're working with. And I am pretty happy with that page. I think that turned out pretty nice. And it'll be useful, and it doesn't have so much visually, it doesn't have so much going on. Oh, sorry, let me see if I can get this to where you guys can actually see it. It doesn't have so much going on that you're not going to be able to follow it and see what it's, and make it useful each month. But that's pretty much it. So I can create printables for these if you guys would like them. And I know that somebody had already asked for a printable version of the 2019 overflow. I've sort of put my own tasks in this recurring task tracker, but I can probably edit those out pretty easily. And then I know you guys had asked for a printable version of this one and of the 2018 calendar, which I can do those. And I don't, this one, I might create a printable of this one for you guys if I have time. But it was sort of just my little doodling for the year. But if anybody really wants that one, I can work on it. This one might take a little bit longer just because it's so intricate, but I can work on it. All right, and so that's pretty much our page for today. Then our next couple pages get to be a lot more artistic, and I think I'm going to experiment with a lot more color. I'm going to probably do a fun wreath, or yeah, something kind of floral, a fun wreath. I'll probably do like a cool quote over here with some little doodles. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's pretty much it. Let me see, there are a couple of questions here. Helen asked, she bought the Helix Circle thing on the Amazon USA, and it's shipping to the UK. And it's, oh, good. I know Helen was having a heck of a time finding the Circle Helix Maker, which I'll show you guys if you're new to the series. This is what we're talking about. And I used this in a couple of my pages, and of course, everyone wanted one. And the Amazon US site has them, but the Amazon UK site does not. But Helen and I emailed a little bit about it, and we're talking about where maybe she could find one. But she got it on the US Amazon and was able to have it shipped to the UK, so that's good. This is probably one of the handiest tools that I've ever gotten for my journal, just because it makes it a cinch to make those, any kind of circular chart that you need or any kind of circular page. I think I ended up using it to make this one, to make the birthday tracker, and it's nice just because it's got angles on it, so you can actually divide your circles appropriately by how many wedges you need. And anyway, it's just been a really handy thing. But they do have it on the Amazon US website, and in the write-ups for these posts I always put the links to all of the things that I used, so you don't ever have to worry about not knowing what I'm using. When you check the website later that day, I'll have the replay with a little bit of a write-up, and I always have the links of the supplies that we talked about there. And if there were any questions, I try to answer those in the post as well. You know, a couple of videos ago, there was a question about the handwriting practice worksheets that I had on the website, and so I went ahead and posted some links right there in that post for you guys. So if you ever have a question about something, please put it in the comments, and I'll try to either answer it right there on the Facebook page for you, or yeah, in the replay post. So I think later on I might go back here and actually add some more puffs to my dandelion. I tend to come back and I just won't let things alone, and then my doodles just kind of grow and grow and grow, and that's all right. But this is I do a lot of journal doodling when I'm on the phone or I'm waiting for an appointment. Then I kind of pull out my journal and start decorating. I try not to plan my doodles into it as much, just because then it almost becomes a chore and I don't enjoy the creative aspects as much. But when they're in there and I just get to do them without any pressure, it's a lot more fun for me. So but that's it. Do you guys have any questions about these pages or the previous pages that we had? Or is there anything that you would like to see? Do you have any requests? Because, yeah, I'm open to those as well. Let's see what I've got here in my comments. Okay. So people wanted to know about how much the circle helix maker was, and Helen is telling us that she was able to have it shipped from US Amazon to the UK for about 8 pounds, which is not too bad. So it's well worth it. I would have paid that much for it. So, and that's it. That's all I really have for you guys today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should tell you before I let you go. I haven't checked yet to see on Amazon if my paper books are shipping yet. I keep hearing from my editor, and she keeps saying that they're supposed to be shipping any day now. And I know that the ebook is out because I've had friends emailing me telling me, you know, the book is there, it's in my Kindle, I'm so excited. But I haven't. The paper copies are still, like, we're still waiting on them, and I can't wait to get one in my hands. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. So, and in the past, I didn't hold these pages up closely enough for you guys, so I'm going to try to just hold it up a little bit so you can kind of take a peek at what we did today. So we've got our planning routine and our journal checklist, and like I said, it's a very text-heavy page. It's pretty utilitarian. This one's not an especially artistic page, but we added a little bit of fun to it to make it a lot more fun and make it a lot more welcoming. And this will help keep you on track with your schedule, and this will help keep you on track with actually moving the appropriate pages and the appropriate appointments when you need to move them. So it's just a handy reference, and I find myself using it every single month. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can still drop comments below after we're done going live. Oh wait, I've got comments here I haven't gotten yet. My comments are not auto-populating. So yes, okay, so any page ideas that are not organization related that can occupy time for people who are on bed rest. I think wish lists are a lot of fun, and travel lists, like, let me find a travel list, a fun travel list or something for you guys. Like, let me think. This was a fun one to make. I made this one. This is one I sketched out with pencil ahead of time. So, and this was one that, I think it was a mock-up that I made for my creative journaling book. And I think I linked it. I think I linked it for you guys in the comments. I think I did. But anyway, so this one was a lot of fun just because I was able to go through and it was really colorful. So if you're dealing with downtime from surgery or something, something like this would be fun. You know, something that gets your mind off of being stuck maybe, but just sort of, you know, dreaming about things. You could do a books to read. You could do memories, a memory collection. You could do, you guys comment and give us some ideas for anyone that's on bed rest. Let's help her out a little bit. I've heard that a lot too. I have more than one friend that's dealing with like a surgery or being put on bed rest for pregnancy. That's going around lately, it seems like, and I keep hearing it more and more. So that would be a good thing to come up. Is my ebook iPad friendly? That's a good question. I don't know. I know that they put it on Kindle, but I don't know how that plays with iPad, or if it does. That's a really good question. I'm gonna have to ask. I'll have to ask my publisher. Let's see. Natalie said she loved the Halloween page ideas. Will you post some for Christmas? Probably. I plan to. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, so I'll probably have a few on there, like fun Christmas movies, Christmas snacks, and things like that. So yeah, for sure. Check the website for it because it should be up soon. And I was going to have a gift giving guide and, you know, shopping ideas and just little tiny stocking stuffers and gift ideas for stationery lovers. Like if you like notebooks and journals and stationery, then I was going to have a little gift guide that you can, you know, sneak into the back pocket of your loved ones. Oh, Dawn, you have the ebook. I'm so glad to hear it. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I haven't really heard much feedback except for from people I know, like my friends, and that makes me nervous because then I'm thinking maybe it's not very good. Like I haven't heard from anybody. Only my friends say they like it. You know, they're gonna lie to me. They're gonna tell me it's amazing no matter what I do. So, but that's good. I'm glad that you find it useful, Dawn. I really am. I really wanted to make it kind of a broader. I wanted to have it to have a little bit of a bigger reach than one specific type of journaling. I really wanted it to be more applicable to this broader creative journaling movement that we have going on right now, that it seems like people all bring their own style and flavor to it. So, okay, so Dawn says she's got the Kindle and she reads it on iPad. That's very good to hear. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. I have a Kindle and my husband has an iPad, and my husband the other day even asked me, he's like, what's your website again? I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad. He doesn't really know what I do. He doesn't know what my book is. He does, anyway, he's a little slow on the uptake, so I have to hear it from other people. So yes, that one is in the book. Yes, it is, Dawn. You're correct. These pages are in the book. The ones that I did today, I talk about these pages. So, okay. Thank you. Alice says she has the book too. So thank you so much. That's very good for me to hear because I've been on pins and needles just waiting. Like, I don't know, like, are people going to like it? You never know. You put your heart and soul into something. And I mean, seriously, if there's blood, sweat, or tears on your book, it's literally probably mine because I put so much of myself into this book. But you just don't know how people are going to receive things until they actually come out. So I've been really nervous about it, and I've kind of just been having to sit on my hands, you know, from, like, I don't want to check the reviews every day on Amazon because that's just not healthy. So I'm trying to just let it be, and I feel like I did my best with it. I did my best. It's hard. It's hard because there's so much. And, you know, you go back later and you think, oh, if I'd had 2 more months to do it, I would have done 20 different things, you know, differently. But, you know, you can't second guess yourself like that. So Tani says she's going to try to be patient and put the book on the Christmas wish list and order the book for her Christmas wish list. That's awesome. Well, you guys are I've loved doing these because I get to actually hear from you guys and talk to you guys, and you're all very supportive and very kind. So I hope that these videos are useful. I know that a lot of this is just going into my journal, and I'm just showing you how I journal. And I get a lot out of seeing the way other people journal and their personal side, so I'm hoping that this helps you. And I feel like doing this early and doing it live in real time, you can see how long it's taking me to do these. So anyway, I will leave you guys with one last look at the pages that we did today. I really use these pages a lot, and they come in handy for me. So that's it. Check the website later today if you want to see the replay or if you want the list of the links to things that we used. And keep checking the vault on the website. The vault is the password protected area for my newsletter subscribers, but keep checking the vault for the printables because I'm going to try to slowly get those uploaded so that you'll have the printable versions of them. But that's it. If you have questions, you can email me at megan@pageflutter.com, or you can shoot me a comment via my website. You can shoot me a comment down below here on Facebook. Yeah, there are a lot of different ways to reach me. So that's it for me today. I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 10:30 Central Time, and I'll be live. Make sure you hit like on my page and on this video so that you'll get the notifications. Make sure you turn on your notifications if you want to get those for the rest of this series. And tag a friend and share this video with them so that you're not alone in here. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.